channel. It's Christina at Homeschool and Grace, and today's video is about how do I get it all done? How do I get it all done in a day? We're starting the new school year soon. We see these beautiful new curriculum books, any kind of curriculum book, and you're just excited, and you see all these things that need to get done, and you're like, how am I going to get all this done in a day? And just seeing all the curriculum at once, it's like, how are we going to get all this done? So I wanted to encourage you, as you are preparing for your new school year and looking at all this curriculum that's coming in the mail, or you're buying and picking up or getting at conferences or wherever, like, to not be overwhelmed. And that's coming from someone who does get overwhelmed. I see all of the curriculum at once for the whole year, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how are we going to do this? We just watched Shirley Temple's Curly something the other night for our family movie night, and she would say, oh my goodness. And that's sometimes you see all this curriculum and you're like, oh my goodness, like this is overwhelming. But don't be overwhelmed. So I wanted to share with you some tips and tricks, what I do, what I always have in the back of my mind for my plan for the day, and how I hope to implement, and what needs to get done, what would be great if it got done, what can just, if we get it done, that's great. If not, well, it's okay. And I think that's about it. What to get done, what I'm indifferent about, and what, we can just skip and not feel bad about it. So I have a curriculum here. This is our curriculum from last year, 1850 Modern Times. I'm just using this as kind of a marker to give an idea of like what we have to get done in a day. So I've been homeschooling now. I'm going on my 8th year, and it has taken me a long time to figure out like what has to get done. And I know should be just like basic, and maybe it's totally basic for everyone else, and it's just not for me, but I had to really get back to those 3 R's. You see so many shiny things in homeschooling and electives and unit studies and all these things, and you think, oh, I gotta do all of this, and they need to have this rich and robust education of all these different little things. And really it comes back to the 3 R's, okay? Reading, writing, and arithmetic. Like that's really your core. Okay, so we use, My Father's World. And so I list out on a board each day, okay, each of my kids' names. Okay, first one, read a book, do your writing, so writing would all entail, and reading, like English, if you're doing My Father's World language lessons for today, grammar, let's say if they're older, easy grammar, some kind of grammar study. Okay, so we have all that. Then we have math, okay? That needs to get done. Whatever math you use, okay, it's got to get done. Then you got to decide, okay, is it going to be done 5 days a week, 4 days a week? How many days a week does it need to get done? That's got to be your own decision in your house. We tend to do like 4 solid days of math. The 5th would be great. If not, that's okay. It depends on where your kids are at. If you really need them to do 5 days a week, then they got to do 5 days a week. Okay, so it's easy to say, do reading, writing, and math without a plan. I will say I have always really struggled with reading, getting it always done, because in the books, in the teacher's manual, it just says reading. Well, that's great, but if you don't have a plan or have an idea, like, well, how long do they need to read each day? Sometimes you hear 20 minutes, sometimes you hear 10 minutes, sometimes you hear 30 minutes. Oh, just have them read to a sibling, and I need a plan. So I had to go with a curriculum. Finally, this last year, I bought Sunlight's Readers because it gave me a plan. It was, here's the stack of books that you have to read for the year. Here are the pages you got to read each day. Now go, read. Or read with me. Read to me. And that has really helped us get our reading done each day, because we didn't have consistency, because I couldn't be consistent. They'd finish a book and then I wouldn't have a next book for them, or I'm trying to figure out a next book, or, and then trying to find what grade level should I get, because they're not all going to be on grade level. I mean, that is honest. They won't, and it's okay. Like, they don't have to. Sometimes I like to even like push it a little younger, just so that they are encouraged that, like, look, I could read this, so I can read the next. Like, it's not, let's read and it's so hard and then they're just discouraged. I want it to be a time of like, oh, that was easy. I can do that every day. So they want to read again. So I have gone with that. You don't have to do, you may have a different reading program. Maybe you're doing like all about reading, or you're doing something else. Like, just whatever gets them reading each day. I think it's an easy way to see improvement if you're consistent. Okay, so writing, like I said, that's going to be your language lessons for today if you're using My Father's World, or whatever grammar program you're using, or whatever language arts that you're using. You want to get that done each day. And then that will entail some kind of writing typically. If you do a Charlotte Mason approach, maybe they're doing just copy work. Maybe they're doing dictation. What I love about, let me see if I have it here. My book is so well loved it's falling apart. These language lessons for today book is that the lessons are like short and easy and on grade level for them, and they allow for modification if needed. Like, if your kid is not a writer, it will say at times, like, don't have them write it. Like, just have them speak the answers instead of writing them out. Or maybe, we've done things where if it's like a dialogue that needs to be written out, I'll do one character and then my daughter will do another character, so that it's more of a ping pong and we can get it done that way. So that's what we work on for that. Math, whatever you decide to do, just have a plan that, you got to plan ahead of time. Okay, these are the lessons that need to be done, and making sure that you're checking to make sure they're done. So those are the big ones. Okay, so what can be done after these big ones are all done? So let's go to what we always try to add in that's great. If we don't get to it, at least we've got these core things done, is prayer, which would be Bible, part of Bible, and history. We really like to get those done. And one more, which would be our read aloud, the read aloud that we do as a family, or just, the girls. So those are the three next big things that we always try to get done. So Bible, whatever you use for Bible, making sure you're getting that done each day, making it a rhythm in the family. So it's like we get this done and then we do the next thing and the next thing. Because I think part of it, how to get it all done, is you have to have a plan so that each day is kind of similar, which can feel monotonous, but I think it really helps the kids to know what is expected of them next. And so then they're not like, well, I'm doing all this stuff and mom's got this crazy idea that all of a sudden now I got to do math when typically I'm having lunch, and it's just too much. So try and be consistent. So Bible, history, we always try to get done. Now I'll modify history if it's just too much. If the curriculum's asking too much of us, I'll modify it. We'll just maybe read the section and talk about it, like what we learn. If it comes with questions, we'll do the questions. If there's writing involved, maybe I just have the older kids write and not the younger kids, or we just don't write because they're doing writing part of their English or language lesson or language arts. So being willing to make it work for your family. That's how we get it done. And then as far as the read aloud, picking the time you're going to read aloud. Is it morning? Are you going to do the morning basket idea, which is a great idea? Okay, that's when we read aloud. Everyone can expect it. You eat breakfast, you snuggle up on the couches, and you read your book in the morning, and then everyone goes and does what needs to be done. Or you wait for dad to get home, and you do it at night, after dinner, and before bed is when you read aloud. You can do that. You could do it at dinner time. You could do it at lunchtime while they're all eating. Just picking a time where you do get those read alouds in. That's what we like to do. So that's how we get that done. Okay, lastly, the things that tend to fall off, or we have good intentions and then they fall off. So that would be for us. Now, this is our family. Your family may be totally different, where I say, we got to get history done. Some people say, no, science has to get done. So science for us tends to be one of those ones that kind of falls off. We'll do it for so long, and then if it falls off, it falls off. I'm not too concerned. Now, I'm not too concerned because I've listened to other homeschool moms who have said, now they have lumped it together, history and science and any extracurricular, really. Those are all not really important until like 8th grade, high school, junior high. And so that kind of gave me peace that like, we will do the best we can, but if we don't get it done, it's not the end of the world, because it's going to be brought up again year after year, maybe in a different format, maybe a little bit more. And then in the end, high school, like, we'll hit it hard. We know this is the time that we've got to do this. So that's where I really like being willing to give myself grace, homeschooling grace. It's a time of like, hey, if you can't get it done, you can't get it done. Okay, another thing, art and music. Those are typically electives that if we don't get them done, I'm not that upset. I think you can tell which kids of yours are have an artistic bent, and maybe you pull little things that a musical bent, where you pull things to kind of what would it be? That the light directive type of homeschooling, where it's like, okay, I see that my child really likes art, so I will push the art, make sure we do the art, or do any kind of art that's going to encourage this talent or heart to continue doing art for them. So I have one who's very artistic. She loves doing art. She's constantly drawing these pictures, and it's just like, where did you come from? She's 6, and these pictures are just amazing. So we want to encourage that. So we try and do the art project, or I look for a video. Art for Kids Hub is so easy, and that she just loves to do. I just saw Canon Press. If you have a paid subscription to that, we don't have one right now, but I've seen it like advertised that they have now like an art program that's kind of like Art for Kids Hub, but with these artists that are Christian. There's also, I remember Mo Willems during the pandemic, he did art program, art little videos. You could pull those old ones up and do an art video with him. Like, just little things that make it easy to add in. So music, if they're really musically inclined, there's like stuff online that they can do. There was one, I can't remember what they're called now. If I remember, I'll link it below, but we did it for a little bit. It's a family that teaches music and different things, and you do have to pay into it, but I have one that plays the ukulele, so we added that, plus she was getting lessons on the side, being consistent with practicing, and so we would do, like, you have to play that song 3 times every day, and it wasn't overwhelming, but at least they were getting that practice in. Okay, so that is, in a nutshell, how we get it all done, how to get it all done, or how to, like, just make it work for you. Like, I think that anyone can homeschool. You just have to make it work for your household, and don't let it overwhelm you. Don't look at everyone else that's doing it all. Think, man, I wish I could do what she's doing. And don't even look at me that way, because there are days we don't get it done. We just don't. I mean, that's life. We don't finish curriculum always. It's been a long time since we finished a curriculum from start to finish. A lot of times we get so far and we call it good. And my husband, who works in the public schools, he's like, they don't finish curriculum. I don't remember ever finishing your curriculum. So it's not like we're different. In a way, that can be a similarity. Like, we do what we can, and then we gotta just be done. So there you go. That is how to get it all done, or not done, or most of it done, or do what you can do. So don't be overwhelmed. Have a blessed new school year. I hope this video was helpful for you and encouraging that you can do it. You can homeschool this new year. It's going to be super fun. It may be hard, but I heard from one homeschool guy, Todd Wilson, at our homeschool conference, which we're planning to make a video on, but he said, a lot of these things that we do are hard, but they're good. Okay, so remember, it's hard, but it's good. It's good. It's good for the family. It's good for us. So thanks again for stopping by, and I hope to see you at the next video. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.